Good afternoon, everyone. It's a time to give an gratitude all of our pillars of the conference. First, I would like to thank Professor Sumanesh Jasrotia, Principal, Government Degree College, Darhal, Jammu and Kashmir, for his wonderful inaugural address. Thank you, Sumanesh sir. Next, I have to thank Dr. M. Regis, Head of the Department, Malangara Catholic College, Marigiri, for his felicitation. Thank you, Regis sir. Next, I would like to thank our keynote speakers, Professor Akil Ahmed, Professor and Chairman, Department of Statistics and Operational Research, Aligarh Muslim University, for his wonderful explanation and talk. Thank you, Akil Ahmed sir. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Madhu Jain, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Indian Institute of Technology, Rourke. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madhu Jain, ma'am, for your keynote speak. Uh, Next, I would like to thank our plenary speakers, Dr. Prasanthan Rajasingam, Senior Lecturer, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, University of Jaffna, Sri Lanka, for his wonderful explanation. And he is explained everything in well manner. Thank you, Prasanthan sir. Next, with immense pleasure, I would like to thank Dr. Harris Gaur, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Kapur Institute of Engineering and Technology, India. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your wonderful explanation. Right. I would like to thank the President, Dr. Regine Silvest, the President, Gap Marine Trust and Publication. And also I'd like to thank Dr. Joyson, Lavender Literary Club. And finally, I would like to thank Dr. Arthur Aziz Raina, Head and Assistant Professor, Government Degree College, Darhal, Jammu and Kashmir, India. Actually, Aziz Raina sir, he is the backbone of this program. He has done very well to this program. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. Aziz Raina sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, next we move to the paper presentation. Now I hand over the Aziz Raina sir. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear. Once again, my heartiest thanks to Dr. Harish Garg, a dear friend to me, for delivering an outstanding talk. I personally benefited from it. Thank you, sir, once again. Now, further to our sessions. Before the further proceedings to Dr. Anto, let me introduce to you first session chairperson, Dr. Nrinder Kumar Sharma. Dr. Sharma is very dear to me. Presently, he is heading the Department of Mathematics, Government Science College, Jammu, and also the coordinator of Mathematics Cluster, University of Jammu. He did his Masters of Philosophy, that's MPhil, Doctorate, that's PhD from Jammu University. I welcome you, sir, in today's International Virtual Conference. And now I hand over the further proceedings to Dr. Anto and Dr. Nrinder Sharma, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So in this first session, 10 paper presentations. All are requested to present. Anto, sir, please invite the presenters.
Yeah, Gigi, what is the time limit for participants?
Maximum time is 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, they have to conclude their talk.
So we start the session 1. So first candidate, Miss QLE. The topic is cyclic decomposition of Cartesian products of graphs. Miss
Good afternoon, sir. Shall I start to present, sir?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, start.
Yes.
Good afternoon to you all. I am Anlin, research scholar, under the guidance of Dr. G. Sudhana, Nesamani Memorial Christian College, Marthandam, affiliated to Manonmaniam Sundarnar University, Tirunelveli. My topic is cyclic decomposition of Cartesian product of graphs. The following are the contents. Introduction. The method of cyclic decompositions, which we are going to expound, has been used in many papers. See Godzik in 1965, Rosa in 1966, and Hatnell in 1975. The treatment of cyclic decomposition and its extent has appeared in a book, Decomposition of Graphs, authored by Juraj Bosak. This paper mainly devoted to the construction of cyclic decomposition of graphs using Cartesian product. Definitions. A decomposition of a graph G is a collection of edge-disjoint subgraphs H1, H2, etc. Hn of G such that every edge of G belongs to exactly one Hi. An H decomposition is a decomposition of G such that each Hi in the decomposition is isomorphic to H. Definition of cyclic decomposition. A decomposition H of a graph G into subgraphs H1, H2, etc. Hn is said to be cyclic if there exists an isomorphism F of G which induces a cyclic permutation Fv of the set V is equal to V of G and satisfies the following implication. If Hi belongs to H, then Fhi belongs to H for some suitable subgraph Hi of H. Here, Fhi is the subgraph of G with vertex set Fu such that U belongs to V of Hi and edge set Fw such that W belongs to E of Hi. The mapping F will be called a rotation. In cyclic decomposition, the term rotation can be applied to subgraphs or their elements so that we shall speak of a rotation of a subgraph, vertex or an edge. This terminology is justified by a representation of a graph G in the plane where the vertices of G coincide with the vertices of an n-gun in G where n should be at least 3 and the edges of G are the sides of the n-gun in G. Then the rotation of the subgraphs become rotations around the center of the n-gun in G. Lemma. Let G admit a cyclic decomposition, then G must contain an n-gun where n should be at least 3 and the center of G is the vertices of the n-gun. The converse of the lemma need not be true. Consider the graph given in figure A where the isomorphic decompositions are shown in different colors. Here the vertex U is the center of G. For this graph G, we shall write the permutation of the vertex set V of G as given. In F, the vertex U goes to U, that is, there exists an identity mapping which contradicts to the definition of cyclic permutation so that G does not admit a cyclic decomposition. Next lemma, G does not admit a cyclic decomposition if and only if G is acyclic. Example, consider the graph given in figure B where the isomorphic decompositions are shown in different colors. For this graph G, we shall write the permutation F of the vertex set of G as given. Here, F is the cyclic permutation which induces the cyclic rotation of H so that G admits cyclic decomposition. Next, cyclic decomposition of Cartesian product of graphs. This is the definition of Cartesian product of two graphs. Some results on cyclic decomposition of Cartesian product of graphs. Theorems. Let G be Cartesian product of cycle Cm and complete graph K2, then G admits a cyclic HA decomposition where HA is isomorphic to a path P4. Let G be Cartesian product of cycle Cm and path PL, then G admits a cyclic HA decomposition where HA is a comb. Let G be Cartesian product of cycle Cm and cycle Cl, then G admits a cyclic HA decomposition where HA is a crown. Let G be Cartesian product of cycle Cm and star SL, then G admits a cyclic HA decomposition where HA is a spider. Conclusion: in this paper, we have used Cartesian product for some standard graphs to investigate the cyclic decomposition of the graphs and their variations. In future, we plan to investigate the cyclic decomposition of graphs with various graph parameters. The following are my references. Thank you.
Yeah. Any question from participant side? Any question? I think no question. So thank you, Miss Cavalli. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Next speaker is Miss N. Jaspi. The topic is geodetic dominating sets and geodetic dominating polynomials of triangular ladder graph. Miss N. Jasmine. Yeah, start.
I'm Jasmine Beulah, research scholar under the supervisor of Dr. A. Vijayan, associate professor in Nesamani Memorial Christian College, Martanda. My topic: geodetic dominating sets and geodetic dominating polynomials of triangular ladder graph. Abstract. Introduction. Let G equal to V comma E be a simple graph of order n for any vertex U belongs to V. The open neighborhood of V is the set n of V equal to set U belongs to V such that UV belongs to E, and the closed neighborhood V is the set n of V equal to n of V union set V. For a set S contained or equal to V, the open neighborhood of S is n of S equal to union of V belongs to S, n of V, and the closed neighborhood of S is n of S equal to n of S union S. The minimum degree of the graph G is denoted by del of G. A set S of vertices in a graph G is said to be a geodetic dominating set of every vertex V belongs to V is adjacent to an element of S. A geodetic dominating set S is both a geodetic and a dominating set. The minimum cardinality taken over all geodetic dominating sets S of G is called the geodetic domination number of G and is denoted by gamma G of G. A geodetic dominating set with cardinality gamma G of G is called gamma G set. We denote the set 1, 2, etc. to n minus 1, 2n by set 2n throughout this presentation. Geodetic dominating sets of triangular ladders. Consider two paths u1, u2, etc. un and v1, v2, etc. vn. Join each pair of vertices ui, vi and ui plus 1 vi for I is 1, 2 up to etc. n. The resulting graph is a triangular ladder. Let T Ln be the triangular ladder with Tn vertices. Label the vertices of Tln as given the figure. Vertices of V of Tln is set 1, 2, 3, etc. 2n minus 3, 2n minus 2, 2n, and edges E of Tln is set 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7 to etc. 2n minus 2, 2n minus 1. Lemma: let Tln be the triangular ladder graph with 2n vertices, then its geodetic domination numbers are gamma G of Tln is ceiling of n plus 1 by 2 and gamma G of Tln minus 2n is ceiling of n plus 1 by 2. Lemma: for every n belongs to n and n greater than or equal to 3, dg of Tln is empty if and only if I less than ceiling of n plus 1 by 2 or I greater than 2n. dg of Tln minus 2n, I is empty if and only if I less than ceiling of n plus 1 by 2 or I greater than 2n minus 1. Lemma: it follows from lemma and some results of geodetic dominating set. Lemma: suppose the dg of Tln is empty, non-empty, then for every n belongs to n and some results. For every n greater than or equal to 3 and I greater than ceiling of n plus 1 by 2 and some results. Theorem, if dg of TLNI be the family of geodetic dominating sets of TLN with the cardinality I, where I greater than or equal to ceiling of n plus 1 by 2, then dg of TLNI is dg of TLN minus 2n, I minus 1 plus dg of TLN minus 1, I minus 1 plus dg of TLN minus 1 minus 2n minus 2, I minus 1 plus dg of TLN minus 2, I minus 1. Definition, let dg of TLNI be the family of geodetic dominating sets of TLN with the cardinality I, and let dg of TLNI is equal to cardinality of dg of TLN, I. Then the geodetic domination polynomial dg of TLN, x of Gn is defined as dg of TLN x is sigma I equal to ceiling of n plus 1 by 2 to 2n dg of TLN, I xi. For every n greater than or equal to 3, dg of TLN x equal to x into dg of TLN minus 2n, x plus dg of TLN minus 1, x plus dg of TLN minus 1 minus 2n minus 2, x plus dg of TLN minus 2, I minus 1 with initial values dg of TL2 minus 4, x is x cube, dg of TL2, x is 2x cube plus x power 4, dg of TL3 minus 6, x is 2x cube plus 3x power 4 plus x power 5. The table from number of geodetic dominating sets of triangular ladder graph with the cardinality I. The theorem, the following properties hold for the coefficients of dg of TLN, x is for all n, then dg of TLN, 2n is 1 for every n greater than or equal to 3. dg of TLN minus 2n, 2n minus 1 is 1 for every n greater than or equal to 3. dg of TLN, 2n minus 1 is 2n minus 2 for every n greater than or equal to 3. dg of TLN minus 2n, 2n minus 2 is 2n minus 3 for every n greater than or equal to 3. dg of TLN, 2n minus 2 is 2n square minus 5n plus 2 for every n greater than or equal to 3. Reference. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any question from participant side? I think no question. So thank you, Ms. Anne Jasmine. Yeah, next participant is Mr. Tosif Ahmed Malik.
Yes, sir.
The topic is a study of matrix transformation of at-most convergence in a generalized BM rise difference sequence space. So, Mr. Tosif, please start.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah. You start.
Sir, good afternoon to all of you, sir. I am Tosif Ahmed Malik, Research Scholar, Department of Mathematics, Lovely Professional University, Punjab. The topic of my presentation is matrix transformations and almost convergence of BM raised difference sequence spaces. Here the abstract of my presentation. The generalized BM raised difference sequence space have been defined and characterized by Basir and Kexi. In this research, we characterize the metric losses RTQBM psi infinity, RTQBM psi, RTQBM psi naught, where psi infinity, psi, and psi naught indicate the spaces of almost bounded sequences, almost convergent sequences, and almost convergent null sequences, respectively. Moreover, some geometric properties of the RTQBM are investigated. Here the contents, introduction, review of literature, some application of summability methods, objective research methodology, timeline, and references. Here are some notations which I have used in my research papers. We denote the set of all sequence of complex integrals by S. Any vector subspace of S is called a sequence space. Here L infinity is the set of all bounded sequence. C the set of all convergent sequences. C not a set of all null sequences. Psi the set of all almost convergent sequences. Psi not a set of all almost null convergent sequences. B as a set of all bounded series. C as a set of all convergent series. L the set of all P absolutely convergent series. Is the introduction about the matrix transformations. So consider general linear operator between two sequence spaces given by an infinite matrix. Given n two arbitrary sequences V and W and an infinite matrix this phi, we define a matrix transformation from this V into W as phi of V. This is the summation of phi kj Vj as this k runs from j runs from 0 to infinity, provided this series is convergent for each k belongs to n, where n is a set of whole numbers. the family of all infinite matrices from V into V is written as VW. Next definition of almost convergent, let P denote the shift operator on S defined as PKV is equal to VK plus 1 for every this K belongs to the set of whole numbers, and a Banach limit F is defined as a non-negative linear function on this Banach space L infinity such that this F of PV is F of V and this F of V equal to 1. And this A sequence, a sequence space Vj is said to be almost convergent to the generalized limit F if all Banach limits of this V are constant and are equal to F. The criterion for almost convergent has been proved by Lorentz as follows. This set of all almost convergent sequences. This is limit n tau n k thus V. This is equal to F uniformly in K, where this tau n k this is equal to 1 by n plus 1 summation of P K V. This P is a shift operator with and this Pi is the composition of operator P with I times for average nk belongs to n. The set of all almost convergent sequences denoted by psi c. In Nanda introduced the psi phi, the set of all bounded sequence as follows. This psi f is supremum of this tau nk v, supremum of nk. This is bounded. The beta dual of a sequence space V is written as V beta, the set of all sequence Vj such that this product of Vu belongs to convergent series for average Uj belongs to V. Following Alta and Bosser, we give a short knowledge about the Rees means that this Tj be a sequence of positive real numbers such that this Tk summation of Tj where j runs from 0 to k for average k belongs to n. Then the Rees means with respect to the sequence Tj is defined by the matrix Rt is given as follows. This is the Rees means for this matrix Rt phi Pkj. For j runs from 0 to k, Tj upon Tk, and for other values j from bigger than k is 0 for average jk belongs to n. Recently, Bastide and Kexy generalized the matrix B. M is the order of this matrix B, which consists of all sequences such that Rt, Bm transforms of them are in this LQ. This Q is the Paranum space. The Rees Bm different sequence space has been defined as follows. Rt QBm defined as this, where Rt QBm this Bm is actually the generalization of the delta M matrix. This is summation of M, combination of M n minus k, or and S are two non-zero real numbers, and this Tn upon this 1 upon t, this is the Rees sequence, and this is the value for k runs from j minus 1 and for j or m upon tj when k equal to j. For Brevity notation, we shall write notation this tau n k phi v. This is the summation of phi kj n vj. This phi kjn is the 1 upon n plus 1 summation of phi k plus I j for average this kj belongs to n. And also we write this phi cap kjn. This is the phi kjn upon this or m tj, and this back delta of ikg and summation of this phi kjn, and where this back delta ikj this is equal to summation of this s k minus 1 upon this or m plus k minus I, and combination of m plus k minus I minus 1 and k minus I, and this is 1 upon qi. In these sections, we are going to state the 4 lemmas which are needed in proving these math results. So we have this 4 lemmas, and first is that this 1 less than qj. This qj is the Paranum spaces, and as a supremum of qj, this is less than equal to infinity for average j belongs to n. We define the set R1t, this R1t and this R2t. It's the union of this set is finite, and the beta dual of this RTQBM, this R1Q intersection of convergent CS convergent series. And when we take Qj in 0 less than Qj less than equal to 1 for average j belongs to define as R2 this set, then this beta dual of the RTQBM, this is equal to R2Q intersection of convergent series. In this lemma, we prove that the polar properties of this RTQBM, that is completeness properties. The sequence with RTQBM is a complete linear matrix spaces paranormed by this H, where H of is defined as this, where H is the supremum of Qj and M is the maximum of 1 by H. And in this lemma, we also prove another topological properties, that is linear. There is isomorphism. The different sequence space RTQBM is linearly isomorphic to the space LQ, where this 0 less than Qj less than equal to less than infinity. Next lemma, the inclusions, this psi is contained in psi infinity, and this relation strictly holds. The main results for 1 less than Qj less than h less than infinity for every j belongs to n, then this field, this infinite matrix belongs to this RT QBM psi infinity. Psi infinity is the set of all almost bounded sequence if and only is q bigger than 1 such that the 0 point equation, this equation holds, and also this phi kj belong to this convergent series for each k belongs to n. And second part is that whenever Qj belongs to 0 and 1 for every j belongs to n, and this infinite matrix belongs to RT QBM psi infinity if and only the equation this hold. Next theorem is that 1 less than Qj less than equal to h less than infinity for every v belongs to j belongs to n, then phi belongs to RT QBM psi if and only if these conditions first, second, and third holds, and there is a sequence of scalars alpha j such that this limit of psi cap kj n whenever n tends to fit this alpha j uniformly in k belongs to n. Next theorem is let 1 less than Qj less than equal to infinity for every j belongs to n, then this phi infinite matrix belongs to RT QBM f naught if and only these equations 1, 2, 3, and 5 holds with this alpha j sequence scalars tends to 0 for every j belongs to n. Next, we have the rotativity of the space RT QBM. Let SV is the unit sphere of the Banach space V. A point V in the unit sphere SV is said to be an extreme point if 2V is equal to U plus V, implies this U is equal to W for every U V in this unit sphere. A Banach space V is called a rotant or strictly convex if every point of unit sphere is an extreme point. That's a definition of let V be a real linear space, a functional rho. This is called a modular if it satisfies the following property: rho of V equal to 0 if and only V equal to alpha V. Alpha the 0 vector of this V. Rho of A V equal to rho of V for all scalars A with modulus of equal to 1, and rho of AV plus VW less than equal to rho of V plus rho of W for every VW belongs to V, and AB greater than equal to 0, and sum of the scalars A plus B equal to 1. And this modular rho is called convex if rho of AV plus BV less than equal to rho of A rho of V plus B rho of V for every V and W this V, and AB bigger than 0 with sum of the scalars A plus B equal to 1. For any this vector, this sequence V belongs to RT QBM, we define this rho QV, the summation of modulus of RT QBM Vj. If this Qj bigger than equal greater than equal to 0 for every natural number j, we consider RT QBM furnished with Luxembourg norm is given in this equation, and then this RT QBM is a Banach space with this norm. So we established some basic properties for the modular rho Q. The modular rho Q on RT QBM satisfies the following properties. If this gamma less than equal to 1, then we have this relations. This C is the constant gamma C rho Q V upon gamma less than equal to rho Q V, and this rho Q gamma V less than equal to gamma rho Q V. If gamma greater than equal to 1, then rho Q V less than equal to gamma C rho Q gamma V upon gamma, and if also this gamma greater than equal to 1, then rho Q gamma rho Q V upon gamma less than equal to rho Q V. And this fourth property, the modular space rho Q on RT QBM is continuous. And this next theorem is the space RT QBM is a rotant if and only if this Qj bigger than 1 for every natural number j. Here is the references. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any question from participants? So I think no question. So thank you, Tosif, for such a nice lecture.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next participant is Dr. N. Annie Brown. Dr. D. Shifa, Aline, Rajesh Nath. So topic is banana leaves disease classification using DPBP and PCCNN model, I think. This is Dr. N. Annie Brown, Dr. D. Shifa Hubi, Aline, Rajesh Nath. I think there are 3 names. Are they present?
Dr. Annie, I think she's not present.
Okay.
Okay, no issues.
So we move to the next. Again, Dr. N. Annie, G. Chitela, then Shavatra, as topic is a survey on Bitcoin mining.
She's present in the inaugural, I think.
Survey on Bitcoin mining. I think they are not present. Okay. Yeah. Next is Miss Priyanka Kumari, counting abelian difference sets and bend function using Hilbert functions. Priyanka. Miss Priyanka.
Sir, she just messaged me that she lost her PPT, and maybe
Okay.
she present in the last.
Okay. Yeah. The next participant is Miss R. Ajitha, anterior dominating sets and anterior domination polynomial of n sunlight graphs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure.
Yeah, start.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. You start, please.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Ajita. I'm a research scholar from Scott Christian College, Nagarkoil, under the guidance of Dr. K. Lal Gibson. My topic: interior dominating sets and interior domination polynomials of n sunlit graphs. Introduction: let G is equal to V, B a simple graph. The order of G is the number of vertices of G. For any vertex V belongs to V, the open neighborhood of A is the set n of V is equal to set of all U belongs to V such that U into V belongs to A. And the closed neighborhood is the set of n of V is equal to n of V union singleton set V. For set S containing V, the open neighborhood of S is n of S is equal to union V belongs to S n of V, and the closed neighborhood of S is n of S is equal to n of S union of S. A set is contained in V in a dominating set if n of S is equal to V, or equivalently, every vertex in V minus H is adjacent to at least one vertex in S. The domination number GOM of G is the minimum cardinality of a dominating set in G. A dominating set with the cardinality GOM of G is called a gamma set. Definition first, 1.1. Let G is equal to V, B a undirected graphs of order n. Let X and Z be the two distinct vertices in G. A vertex Y distinct from X and Z is lie between X and Z if D of X, Z is equal to D of X, Y plus D of Y, Z. A vertex V is an interior vertex of G if every vertex U distinct from V. The existent vertex W such V lies between U and W. Definition 1.2. Set D contained V of G is the interior dominating set if D is the dominating set of G and every vertex V minus D is the interior vertex of G. Any end vertex will not be a member in an interior set of a graph. The interior domination number gamma id of a graph G is defined as the cardinality of minimum interior dominating set. Next, let Sn star be the n sunlit graph with the 2n vertices obtained by the attaching n pendant edges to the cycle Cn. Sn star is Cn corona K1. We denote the graph granted from Sn star by deleting 2n vertices, then we get Sn star minus 2n. Next, definition 1.4.
this is the polynomial of interior dominating of n-sunlet graph. Let DID of Sn star comma with the family of interior dominating set of n-sunlet graph Sn star with the cardinal TL, and let DID Sn comma L Sn star comma L is equal to cardinality of DID of Sn star comma L. Then the interior domination polynomial DID of Sn star comma X of Sn star is defined as DID of Sn star comma X is equal to summation the cardinality of minimum interior dominating set to the total vertices, that is 2n. DID of Sn star comma L is into x power L. Example 1.5. Here I give a 4-sunlet graph. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices are an interior vertex. 5, 6, 7, 8 is a end vertex. End vertex will not be a member of this graph. Therefore, the minimum cardinality of interior dominating set is 4. Therefore, gamma ID of S4 star is 4. Then we apply this condition in our definition. Therefore, we get DID of S4 star comma X is equal to x power 4. Next definition 1.6. Let DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L be the family of interior dominating set n sunlet graph Sn star minus 2n with cardinality L, and let DID Sn star minus 2l comma L is equal to cardinality of DID of Sn star minus 2l comma L. Then the interior domination polynomial DID of Sn star minus 2n comma X of Sn star minus 2n is defined as DID of Sn star minus 2n comma X is equal to summation L is equal to n minus 1 to 2n. Here L is a cardinality of minimum interior dominating set. DID of into DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L into x power L. Then it's the example of S4 star minus 8 graph. Here vertices 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3 is adjacent to every vertices. Then it is also a interior vertex. Therefore, the minimum interior dominating set is 1, 2, 3. Therefore, it is 3. Therefore, gamma ID of S4 star minus 8 is equal to 0. Therefore, DID of S4 star minus 8 comma X is equal to x cube x power 4, sorry, x power 3 plus x power 4. Next, interior dominating set of Sn star minus 2n, lemma 2.1, lemma 2.2 and lemma 2.23 follows theorem 2.4. First one, lemma 2.1, let Sn star minus 2n be the n-sunlet graph with 2n minus 1 vertices for every n greater than or equal to 4. Gamma ID of Sn star minus 2n is equal to n minus 1. DID of P, sorry, this is Sn star minus 2n comma L is empty if and only if L is greater than n or L is less than n minus 1. Next, DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L is non-empty if and only if n minus 1 less than or equal to L less than or equal to n. Next, lemma 2.2, for every n greater than or equal to 4, n belongs to n. First one, if DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L minus 1 is equal to empty, and DID of Sn star minus n minus 1 minus 2n minus 2 comma L minus 1 not equal to empty, then DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L not equal to empty. The second one, if DID of Sn star minus 2n minus 2 comma L minus 1 is equal to empty, and DID of Sn star minus 2 minus 2n minus 4 comma L minus 1 not equal to empty, then DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L not equal to empty. Then also lemma 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 follows from theorem 2.4. Here I explained the theorem 2.4. For every n greater than or equal to 4, and DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L minus 1 is equal to empty, and DID of Sn star minus 1 singleton set 2n minus 2 comma L minus 1 not equal to empty, then DID of Sn star minus 2n comma L is equal to set of all 1 to 3 etc. up to n minus 2 comma n minus 1. Next, interior dominating set of Sn star. Here lemma 3.1, lemma 3.2, lemma 3.3 follows theorem 3.4. Theorem 3.4, I explained theorem 3.4. For every n greater than or equal to 4, DID of Sn star comma L minus 1 is equal to empty, and DID of Sn star n minus 1 L minus 1 not equal to empty, then DID of Sn star comma L is equal to set of all 1, 2, 3 etc. up to n minus 1 comma n. Next, interior domination polynomials of Sn star. Definition 4.1. Let DID of Sn star comma the family of interior dominating sets of n sunlet graph Sn star with the cardinality L, and let DID of Sn star comma L is equal to cardinality of DID of Sn star comma L. Then the interior domination polynomial DID of Sn star comma X of Sn star is defined as DID of Sn star comma X is equal to summation cardinality of minimum interior dominating set to 2n vertices. D area into D area of Sn star comma L into x power L. Next, theorem 4.2. If D area of Sn star comma is the family of interior dominating set with the cardinality of L of Sn star, then D area of Sn star comma L is equal to D area of Sn star n minus 1 comma L minus 1. Where D area of Sn star L is equal to cardinality of D area of Sn star L. For every n greater than or equal to 4, D area of Sn star x is equal to x into D area of Sn star n minus 1, x with initial values, D area of S4 star comma x is equal to x power 4, and D area of S5 star into x is equal to x power 5. Next, interior domination polynomial of Sn star minus 2n. Definition. Let D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L be the family of interior dominating set of n-sunlet graph Sn star minus 2n with the cardinality L, and let D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L is equal to cardinality of D area of Sn star minus 2n L. Then the interior domination polynomial D area of Sn star minus 2n into x comma x of Sn star minus 2n is defined as D area of Sn star minus 2n comma x is equal to summation L is equal to n minus 1 to n D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L into x power L. Next theorem, if D area of Sn star minus 2n comma x is the family of interior dominating set with the cardinality of L of Sn star minus 2n, then D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L is equal to D area of Sn star minus 2n minus 2 comma L minus 1 plus x power minus 1 into D area of Sn star minus 1 minus 2n minus 2 comma L minus 2. Where D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L is equal to cardinality of D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L. Second one B, for every n greater than or equal to 4, D area of Sn star minus 2n comma x is equal to x into D area of Sn star n minus 1 set of singleton set 2n minus 2 comma x with initial values. D area of S4 star minus 8 comma x is equal to x power 3 plus x power 4, and D area of S5 star minus singleton set x 10 comma x is equal to x power 4 plus x power 5. This is the table of the number of interior dominating set of n sunlit graph with the cardinality I. Okay, in the following theorem, we obtain the sum properties of D area of Sn star minus L and D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L. Here I prove one theorem. The following properties is called the coefficients of D area of Sn star comma L and D area of Sn star minus 2n comma L. First one, D area of Sn star comma n is equal to 1 for every n greater than or equal to 4. Second one, D area of Sn star minus 2n comma n is equal to 1 for every n greater than or equal to 4. Third one, D area of Sn star minus 2n minus 2 comma n minus 1 is equal to 1 for every n greater than or equal to 4. In conclusion, here I define interior dominating sets and interior dominating polynomials of n sunlit graphs. These are the references. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Any question from participant side? Any question? So I think there are no question. Thank you. Mr.
Sir,
Aditya.
Sir, Priyanka is ready now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So the next participant is Ms. Priyanka Kumari. The topic is counting abelian differential sets and band functions using Hilbert functions. So Priyanka, please continue. Yeah, Priyanka, you start your presentation.
Hello,
Yeah,
can you hear me, sir?
yeah, you are audible. You
Okay.
Start your presentation. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Priyanka Kumari from BITS Pilani, and this work is done with the joint work with Dr. P.H. Keskar. And title of my presentation is Counting Abelian Difference Sets and Band Functions Using Hilbert Function. And here is a brief outline of my presentation. First, we introduce what are the difference sets, and then we have developed a polynomial criteria for abelian difference sets. And using that polynomial criteria, we count the difference sets in an abelian group with the help of Hilbert functions. Then we move to introduce band functions and how we count band functions using Hilbert function, and selected references. So difference sets are some combinatorially defined objects in a group. They have their origin in 1930s during the work of Pele while studying the finite fields, and in work of Singer while studying finite geometries, and in work of R.C. Bose while studying statistical designs of experiment. And they came to the same concept of difference sets, which we defined as, for a finite group G of order V and non-negative integer k and lambda, a subset D of G is called Vk lambda difference set in G. If for every non-identity element of G, we can write every non-identity element of G can be written as a difference of two distinct element of D in exactly lambda ways, where cardinality of D is K and E is the identity of group G. And if group is abelian, then difference set is called abelian difference set. And further, these are generalized into generalized difference sets, and they are the crossroads of pure and applied mathematics. So in pure side, they are related to some mathematical structures such as combinatorial designs, group rings, group representations, algebraic number theory, ideal theory, and algebraic geometry. We are interested in their characterization in terms of some polynomials, and we are interested in the relation with ideal theory and algebraic geometry. And generalized difference sets have their applications in band functions, which are cryptographically significant, and they are used to construct sequence with low autocorrelation, which are further used in cryptography and signal processing. And difference sets are used in graph theory also. So there are some important aspects of study of difference sets, such as their existence, counting, and construction of difference set with given parameter is important, because if we find new difference sets, then we can have better code for we can construct better sequences with low autocorrelation. And their counting, that means how many of number of non-equivalent difference sets, and their characterization in terms of other mathematical objects is also important. One such characterization is in terms of polynomials. And for that, first we defined point representation. So every subset of a group can be correspond to a point in CV, where CV is complex field C cross V dimensional complex, and alpha is a point in CV where alpha i's are 1 if Gi belongs to T and 0 otherwise. Then this alpha is known as point representation of T in CV, and these are the points of V hypercube. And where if we select few of them, they will form a algebraic set, and for that set we can find polynomials. So we know that polynomial exists, and what are these polynomials? So the answer is polynomial criteria. So first, these are some notations. Del is represented by this polynomial ring CXA. U is this set where xi's are nith root of unity, and psi is defined by this polynomial. So if psi xa belongs to del is defined by a previous equation, then for any alpha in CV, alpha is a point representation of a Vk lambda difference set in G if and only if alpha satisfies these equations. These are equations, polynomial equations. So this polynomial criteria says that Vk lambda difference sets in a abelian group are in one-to-one correspondence with the points of zero-dimensional affine algebraic set, and this set is given by V is equals to the solution of these equation, polynomial system of equation. So if we can find solution of this system of equation, we can find number of we can find different set in a group. So for existence question, if the solution of this system exists, then there are different set in a group. If there is no solution, then there is no different set in a group. And how many we can count the number of solutions as they are in one-to-one correspondence. The number of solutions of these equations will give the number of different sets in a group. So this brings us the concept of Hilbert functions. So we define a fine Hilbert function as dimension of a vector space. So first, let J is this ideal of this polynomial ring, and R less or equals to S is the set of all polynomials in R. Sorry, this is a typo. These are x1 up to xn. So this R less than equals to S is a number of polynomials of all the polynomials in R which have degree less or equals to S. And J less or equals to S is intersection of these two. So we define a fine Hilbert function of J is the function of on the non-negative integer S as dimension of this vector space. And if S is sufficiently large, the affine Hilbert function is given by this polynomial function, which is known as Hilbert polynomial of J. So after if S is sufficiently large, these two will coincide. So what is a affine variety? First, we define affine variety is a set of all the points in CT such that all fx1 fr0 belongs to J. All polynomials in J vanishes on this set. Then this Vj is known as a affine variety of J. And Iz is an ideal of CT. If Z is a subset of CT, then Iz is an ideal of where fxi this fx1 x2 x3 vanishes on the points of Z. So this is ideal corresponding to Z. So for a number of points in affine variety, we count the number of points in affine variety. So if V is an affine variety, then V is finite if and only if affine Hilbert polynomial of corresponding ideal IV is constant. If affine Hilbert polynomial is constant, the number of points in V will be finite, and the number of points will be given by the affine Hilbert polynomial of IV. So with this, we can count number of, as we know, number of different sets in a VK lambda different set in a group are in one-to-one correspondence with a solution of this polynomial system. So we have an affine variety, so we can count number of different sets in a group using Hilbert polynomial. So this theorem gives us the count of number of different sets. The number of different sets in a group G is given by this Hilbert polynomial of this ideal J and K lambda, where J and K lambda is ideal of CT generated by this. So if we can count, if we can find Hilbert polynomial of this ideal J and K lambda, then we know how many number of different sets are in the group G. So this theorem gives us for the computational purpose, as computer software uses homogenized form of ideal, we have, so this is the homogenization of this ideal J and K lambda, and we have that affine Hilbert polynomial of ideal J and K lambda is equal as affine Hilbert polynomial of homogenized ideal. So we can, instead of using of ideal, we can use homogenization of it to find Hilbert polynomial of. So for computational purpose, we use homogenization of ideal. And so this theorems gives us the number of different sets in a group. And for band functions, what are the band functions? They are introduced by Rothaus in 1966. And further, J.F. Dillon characterized band functions in terms of Hadamard difference sets as they are band function into n variables is a Boolean function whose support is a non-trivial difference set in an elementary abelian 2 group with parameters, with these parameters. This is V, this is K, and this is lambda, where signs are taken consistently. So number of, if we can, as they are characterized in terms of different sets. So if we count number of different sets in this group, so we can count number of band functions also. So as we know that different sets is given by a Hilbert polynomial. So since the set of all band functions with the support of size 2t minus this size and set of those with support of size this are equal but disjoint. They are of same cardinality but disjoint. So the count will be twice of Hilbert polynomial of this ideal, homogenized ideal. So we can count number of band functions by using Hilbert polynomial of homogenized ideal of J and K lambda. So for example, if we have counted the number of band functions with 4 variables, and let's consider these are the parameters. So then we use Macaulay to show that this Hilbert polynomial is 448. That means twice of it is 896, and Tokarova shows that this bound is exact number of band functions with 4 variable. We are trying to find till now band functions with less or equals to 8 variables are found. Total number of band function are known, but more than 8 band functions, how many band functions are there with variable more than 8 are not known. So we are trying to count the number of band functions using this. So we have given the theoretical what are the theoretical count of number of band functions, but practically we are not able to implement the code due to some complexity of the program. So in future we will be trying to find the number of band functions with more than 8 variables. So here are some references.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Priyanka. Yeah, I have a question
Yes, sir.
here. Yeah,
Yes,
what
sir.
is this difference set and how it is useful in your research?
So different sets are some combinatorially defined objects. That means they are subsets of a group. And they are if they will be used in constructing band functions and constructing sequence of low autocorrelation which are used in cryptography. And that means if a good difference set with good autocorrelation, then we can construct a sequence which is in signal processing. If we like today's world, the secrecy of message is most important. So if we can have a different set with good co-autorelation, then we can construct a sequence with the sequence so that and decryption of the message is not easy. So it is not easy to decrypt a secret message. So this is used in the cryptography. They are used in various other things.
So any question from participants?
Sir, I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Ask.
Ma'am, during your research, were you able to find out a closed form or an explicit formula for the number of different sets?
Yes, I have shown you that if I count this Hilbert polynomial, that is this Hilbert polynomial is like this. Okay, I will show you. This, if I can count this affine Hilbert polynomial or of this ideal,
I did see
then
of yours, and I appreciate this. I was basically asking when we talk about combinatorics, especially enumerated combinatorics, we try to find out if there is an explicit or a closed form formula where we will just put the value of n and that will give us the required number of different sets.
yes, sir. In this Hilbert, if you are
Have you
Hilbert-
basically been able to find out the number of different sets, or have you been able to find out the relation between Hilbert polynomials and this enumeration?
Sir, this is if I can find this Hilbert polynomial of this ideal,
Okay.
then like this Hilbert polynomial in this example, Hilbert polynomial of this ideal is 448,
Yes.
and that twice is 896. That means the number of different sets in this group are 896.
Okay.
So this
you are able to-
polynomial is itself is number of different sets.
Thank you very
Right.
much.
Right. Any other question? So thank you. Thank you, Priyanka, for such a nice lecture.
Thank you, sir.
The next participant is Mamta Rani.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So your topic is blended type approximations by Kantorowicz variant of alpha and Schur operators. Please start.
Yes. I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Mamta Rani from SGT University, Gurugram. The topic of my presentation is blended type approximations by Kantorowicz variant of alpha Schur operators. Now, the outline of my presentation is abstract, introduction, basic estimates, rate of convergence of K and alpha, references. And first of all, the abstract is, in this manuscript, we present a new sequence of operators that is modified Burstein-Schur-Kantorowicz operators, depending on two parameters, alpha belongs to 0, 1 and rho greater than 0. For 1 and 2 variables to approximate a class of Lebesgue measurable functions on the interval, closed interval 0.1 plus q. Q is greater than 0. And after that, we give basic results and discuss the rapidity of convergence and order of approximation for univariate and bivariate of these sequences in their respective section. And further graphical and numerical analysis are presented, and moreover, local and global approximation properties are discussed in terms of first and second order modulus of smoothness and Peters-K functional and weight function for these sequences in different species of function. Now the introduction. Approximation theory is the branch of mathematics in which we study the approximation of functions. The theorem first given by German mathematician Carl Weierstrass in the year 1885 is considered as the inception of this interesting branch of mathematics. This theorem has a very important role in the development of approximation theory. It provides a criteria for the uniform convergence of a sequence of polynomials towards a continuous function. This theorem is stated as f be a continuous function defined on the finite interval, closed interval AB, f belongs to CAB, and epsilon greater than 0. Then there exists a sequence of algebraic polynomials Px with real coefficients which converges uniformly to f on the closed interval AB. Next, there are many proofs of this celebrated theorem, but the proof was very lengthy. So one of the most elegant proof was given by S.N. Bernstein in 1912. He constructed a sequence of polynomials by using the probabilistic approach, and E. Borel's contribution in 1905 gave another remarkable impetus to this field. Approximations of functions by positive linear operator possesses key relevant in numerical analysis, computer-aided geometric design, and solution of differential equation. Next, Bernstein proposed the Bernstein polynomials, which are defined in equation number 1. For this operator given by 1, he showed that B and Fx converges to F uniformly where F belongs to C01. And in 1962, Sur modified operators given in 1 as for Q greater than 0, which is given in equation number 2. For F belongs to C0, 1 plus Q. These operators are introduced in equation 1 and 2, are restricted for the continuous functions only, and are different in respect to the domain of the function f. And in the recent past, for G belongs to closed interval 0, 1, M belongs to natural number, and alpha belongs to -1, 1, Chen and others constructed a sequence of new linear positive operators, which are given in equation number 3 and 4. The operator defined in 3 are named as lambda Bernstein operator of order M. And next, later Errol and Erbe introduced a parametric extension of Vaskakov operators. Recently, Osger and all others constructed a sequence of lambda Bernstein Sur operators. For every F belongs to CB, closed and semi-open interval 0 to infinity, where CB 0 infinity stand for the continuous and bounded function, the operator defined in equation number 5. Next, we construct the lambda Bernstein Sur Kontovich operators and their moment, which are given in equation number 6 and equation number 7. And motivating by this development, we construct a new sequence of positive linear operator, which are given in equation number 8, where rho is greater than 0 and Q and K U is given in equation number 7. For this, we have given some basic estimates. The first lemma for the operator defined in equation 5. These are the equations psi and nu lambda E naught U is equal to 1, and these two equations are there in lemma 1. And next we have given lemma 2. Let EKS is equal to S raised to power K, K belongs to 0, 1, 2 be the test functions. Then for the operator defined in equation number 6, we have these three types of equations for the lemma 2. And next, the lemma number 3, for the operator defined in equation number 8, we have this type of equations K and lambda rho E naught U is equal to 1, and others two equations are given in this lemma. And the lemma number 4, let K S is equal to E1S minus U raised to power K equal to psi U K S. K belongs to natural number with the central moments constructed in equation number 8. Then these equations are given in lemma in this lemma, and we have given the proof of this lemma in my present paper. And here are rate of convergence of K and alpha rho. So definition of modulus of continuity. Let F belongs to C 0, 1 plus P and n is greater than 0. Modulus of continuity for a uniformly continuous function F is defined as omega F delta equal to supremum of F1 minus F2 modulus of Ft1 minus F2, where modulus of T1 minus T2 less than equal to delta. T1 T2 belongs to 0, 1 plus P and L is greater than 0. And for a uniform continuous function and for delta greater than 0, we have equation number 9. And the theorem for the rate of convergence of K and lambda rho, let K and lambda rho be a sequence of operator proposed by the equation number 8, then K and lambda rho converges to F uniformly on each bounded subset of interval 0, 1 plus P, and this is greater than 0, where F belongs to C 0, 1 plus P, and this is given as equation F of U 1 plus U square converges as U tends to infinity. And next is global approximation. We recall some notation to prove the global approximation results. For the weight function 1 plus u square and 0 less than equal to u less than infinity, we have this type of equation where mf is constant depending on m. And next equation is c of 1 plus u square 0 to 1 plus p is greater than 0, space of continuous function endowed with the norm. And the equation, it is given as c of 1 plus u square 0 to 1 plus p, where 1 is greater than 0, and limit u tend to infinity f of u 1 plus u square k, where k is constant. And the theorem given, next theorem, let k and lambda rho be the operators which are given in equation number 8, and this equation greater than 0, then we have limit n tend to infinity norm of k and lambda rho f of u minus f under 1 plus u square, it is equal to 0, where f belongs to c of 1 plus u square close interval 0 comma 1 plus p. Next, the construction of bivariates as Bloom-Ware operators Hn1, N2 star and their basic estimate. Here we take I square, two variable y1 and y2, and Ci square is the class of all continuous function on I square, equate with the norm. And then for all h belongs to Ci square, n1, n2 belongs to natural number, we construct the sequence of bivariate generalized Bhaskakov operators which are given in equation number 10. And degree of convergence, for any g belongs to Ci square, delta greater than 0, modulus of continuity of order second is given by the equation number, where modulus of t minus y1 less than equal to delta n1 and minus y2 less than equal to delta n2, with the partial modulus of continuity defined in equation number 11 and 12. Next theorem, for any g belongs to Ci square, we have the equation number 13. And the theorem, G belongs to L tau tau E cross C, then for any tau, there exists M greater than 0. And in this theorem, we define delta N1 Y1 and delta N2 Y2, which are defined in equation number 13. And conclusion, the motive of the present paper is to give a better error estimation of the convergence of Bernstein-Zur-Kontrovic operators using two parameters, alpha belongs to 0, 1 and rho greater than 0. This modification gives better error estimation for a class of function in comparison with generalized Kontrovic type operators introduced by Moursalin and all others. And in this, graphical and numerical comparisons are investigated by these sequences in my paper. And we study approximation properties using Peters K functional modulus of smoothness of second order, and further lambda bivariate Zur-Kontrovic operators are constructed and their point-wise and uniform approximation results are investigated. And these are some references. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Mamta
Okay.
Rani. Yeah, any question
Yes, sir.
from participants? Any question? So, okay, thank you, Mamta.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, next participant is Miss Janisha. The topic is acentric domination of decomposition of cycle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to start your presentation.
First, I like to introduce myself. I am Jinsha Kalerasan, Research Scholar, Department of Mathematics, Scott Christian College, Autonomous, Naharkovil. My guide is Dr. K. Lal Gibson, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Scott Christian College, Naharkovil. My topic is eccentric domination path decomposition of cycle. First introduction, graph theory is nothing but a branch of discrete mathematics. Graph theory is the study of graph, which are mathematical structure not only used in computer science, but in many fields. Two problems.
Yeah, excuse me, Anisha, आपका जो screen visible नहीं है, आप please just increase the visibility. Actually, your screen is not visible. You are presenting from mobile, I think, eh?
Yes, sir.
You put it into horizontal form. Yeah. Now it's good.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, start.
First introduction, graph theory is nothing but a branch of discrete mathematics. Graph theory is the study of graph, which are mathematical structure not only used in computer science, but in many fields. Two problem areas are mainly considered. Problems such as classical problems and problems from the application. The classical problem is defined with the help of graph theory as connectivity, cut, path, and flow, coloring problems, and theoretical aspects of graph drawing. The problem from the application focus on experimental research and implementation of graph theory algorithm. The theory of domination is one of the fastest growing area in graph theory. First, we are going to see about what is dominating set. A set of D containing B vertices in a graph G is a dominating set if every vertex B in B minus D is adjacent to a vertex in D. The minimum polynomial of a dominating set of G is called dominating number of G and denoted by gamma of G. Next, we are going to see about what is eccentric dominating set. A set D contained in V of G is an eccentric dominating set. If D is a dominating set of G and for every D belongs to V minus D, there exists at least one eccentric point of V in D.
Yeah. Hello. Anisha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you completed? Your
No, sir.
screen,
No, sir.
your
No,
just
sir.
first page introduction is visible on the screen only. So there is some problem, I think, with your PPT.
Yes, sir.
Janisha, please rotate your screen, okay?
Now it is moving. Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Oh, no issues. You continue.
If D is an eccentric dominating set, then every subset D dash contains D is also an eccentric dominating set, but D double dash contained in D is not necessarily an eccentric dominating set. An eccentric dominating set D is a minimal eccentric dominating set if no proper subset D double dash contained in D is an eccentric dominating set. Next, we are going to see about what is eccentric domination number. The eccentric domination number, gamma ED of G of a graph G equals the minimum polynomial of an eccentric dominating set. That is, gamma ED of G equal to minimum polynomial D, where the minimum is taken over D in D, where D is the set of all minimal eccentric dominating set of G. This concept was introduced by T.L. Janakiraman in Manumadi and S. Luthman. The decomposition of graph is another important field of graph theory. Several authors studied various types of decomposition by imposing condition of GI in the decomposition. Next, we are going to see about what is decomposition. Let G equal to V, E be a simple connected graph with P vertices and Q edges. If G1, G2, etc. Gn are connected edge disjoint subgraph of G with E of G1, E of G2, etc. E of Gn, then G1, G2, Gn is said to be a decomposition of G. This concept is motivated by ascending domination decomposition and connected domination path decomposition. By that, we introduce a new concept, eccentric domination decomposition and eccentric domination path decomposition. Before we seeing eccentric domination path decomposition, now we are going to see about what is eccentric domination decomposition. Definition: a decomposition G1, G2, etc. Gn of G is said to be eccentric domination decomposition if the following conditions should be satisfied. E of G1 equal to E of G1 union E of G2 union, etc. E of Gn. Second condition, each Gi is connected. Third condition, gamma ed of Gi equal to I equal to 1, 2, etc. n. If a graph G has eccentric domination decomposition, we say that G admits eccentric domination decomposition. Example, a health graph H3 admits eccentric domination decomposition G1, G2, G3 is given in figure. Note that gamma ed of Gi equal to I equal to 1, 2, 3. Example, this is the graph G. It was decomposed into G1, G2, G3. If we connect G1, G2, G3, then we get G. So first condition was satisfied. Here, second condition, each Gi is connected. So here G1 is connected, G2 is connected, G3 is connected. Next, third condition, gamma of ed of Gi equal to I. Here, first we take G1. Here, V1 dash and V1 are eccentric dominating set with the coordinate 1. Here, V1 dash and V1 are eccentric point to each other. So, gamma ed of Gi equal to G1 equal to 1. Next, we are going to see about what is eccentric domination path decomposition. Definition: a decomposition G1, G2, etc. Gn of G is said to be eccentric domination path decomposition if the following conditions should be satisfied. G admits eccentric domination decomposition. Each Gi is a path. Q of G1 equal to 1 and Q of G2 equal to 2 or 3. Next condition, Q of Gi equal to 3i minus 5 or 3i minus 4 or 3i minus 3, I equal to 3, 4, etc. n. Example, triangular snake graph T3 admits eccentric domination path decomposition G1, G2, etc. G3. This is triangular snake graph. Here, first the G1, G2, G3 admit eccentric domination decomposition and each Gi is path. Then third condition, Q of Gi equal to 3i minus 5 or 3i minus 4 or 3i minus 3. Fourth condition also satisfied. Next, eccentric domination path decomposition of cycle theorem. A cycle Cp admits eccentric domination path decomposition if and only if Cp has 3j square minus j plus 4 divided by 2. J belongs to n vertices. Example, this is graph G. Here G1, G2, G3 are connected and satisfying the 4 conditions. Next, a cycle CP admits eccentric domination path decomposition if and only if CP has 3j square minus j plus 6 divided by 2. J belongs to n vertices. This is the example for 3j square minus j plus 6 divided by 2. J belongs to n vertices. Next theorem. A cycle CP admits eccentric domination path decomposition if and only if CP has 3j square plus 5j plus 10 divided by 2. J belongs to n vertices. Next theorem. A cycle CP admits eccentric domination path decomposition if and only if CP has 3j square plus 3m square plus 6mj minus j plus 3m plus 6 divided by 2. J, m belongs to m vertices. Here are some references. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dinisha. Any question from participants? Okay. The next participant is Dr. Dharmendra Kumar Singh. The topic is on Poisson distribution.
Sir, Dharmendra Kumar is not available, sir. We can wind up.
Okay.
Dharmendra Kumar is not available, sir.
So this session is now wind up, all person. So now
thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
please
sir.
organize this.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.